Okay, let's close this out with part 2 of this. D-Roy Cruz here, your Life Applications Officer. I was talking about just a little bit ago about Aaron Raw and many atheists who feel that it's their business to stop Christians from spreading their hate among the world, their horrible disease, if that's what they want to call it, into the world. And this horrible disease wasn't considered a horrible disease 30 years ago. And most of all these wars and all this murder and all these cults and all these bad things that atheists say Christians are known for, this was all long before 30 years ago. But 30 years ago, there wasn't no atheists making all this money, traveling all over the world, trying to stop everybody from believing in God, or trying to stop everybody from joining the church, or stop everybody from having a position of faith. You know, we talked about evolution in the last video and how Aaron Raw is one of those kind of people who he studies something and he thinks that because he's comfortable with what he has studied, that whatever you understand, you're wrong, because he understands and accepts what he sees as the answer to everything right. And evolution, in all due respect to common sense, is not the answer to everything. It just isn't. It is not the answer to everything. Now, I do believe that the kind that Aaron Raw kept playing this little game with Kent Hovind, he felt that he should keep on continuing to act like he didn't know what Kent Hovind was trying to get at. Kent Hovind was using the word kind, and Kent Hovind wouldn't come out and say, you know, the differences for the word kind. Kind meaning a simple kind, just like there's more than one kind of guitar. Now, I should have brought my props over here, but if I take something simple like a guitar, there's a whole bunch of things that derive from that guitar. The Bible says he created things according to their kind. So where Kent wouldn't come right out and say what he meant to say, I'm going to say it for him. If God created everything in its kind or after its own kind, that means that when God created one animal, he didn't just create the animal. He created the kinds, the different species, if you will, of that same animal. Okay, now I do believe, and I don't call it evolution, but I do believe that one species before the flood, as Kent would always use, evolved into another after the flood. Like there's animals today that didn't exist back then, and there were animals back then that don't exist today. I believe that. I don't call that evolution though, but I do believe that. And just like I do believe in dinosaurs, I do believe that there were giant animals. I do believe that there were different types of animals with different forms of intelligence than the ones that we see today. But that does not mean two things. That does not mean that that proves evolution, number one, and that does not mean that God didn't create these things. And I believe that God did create the original, and then that original, because of climate change and so forth, became different species over time. Now, I do believe that humans, for example, animals are the same. The humans represent animals and anything else that has changed over time. Just like God created, we believe as Christians that God created Adam and Eve, and then Adam and Eve had children, and as their children went through different modes and different things in their time after their kind, okay, and so forth, they had children, and then their children had children at a different time, and then their children had children at a different time. Then there was war, there was bloodshed, there were, people scattered at the Tower of Babel, and that's how we got all the different races and all that kind of thing. So it all comes together, but I don't feel it proves evolution. Now, I don't make a big deal about it because even if you wanted to say that God invented evolution, or that God is evolution, that our number one ancestor of all things is evolution, that's fine. But one thing for sure, there is no evolution that proves that there is no God, because evolution itself cannot be proven. You can write books and help people like Aaron Rawl to understand where some things will fit. But you got to look at it this way. Just like anything else we study in school. If I study math, I don't need to know every math there is in order for me to do my job or to count my money when my paycheck arrives, okay? If I study music, I don't need to play every instrument out there to make good music. If I study literature, I don't need to know every literature. If I study language, I don't need to know everybody's language. You know what I'm saying? Aaron Raw was willing to be like this evolutional guru in order to prove creationism wrong. I don't see myself as a creationism. I see myself as a Christian who believes that God, it all started with God. In the beginning, God, and that's what I believe, and that's what I stand on. I don't see how that makes me a creationist. It makes me a goddess. It makes me someone that believes in God. I believe God created everything. It doesn't give me a title. It just simply means I believe. It makes me a Christian. It's still the same title, Christian. Okay? You can't be a Christian without being a creationist. Okay? Enough evolution. Here's the topic that I didn't get to discuss on the last video. Everybody believes. Everybody believes. Okay? That non sequitur show, March 2018, you can look it up and see the argument between Kent Hovind and Aaron Raw and a couple others if you want to. It came out on March 2018. It's called the non sequitur show, however you pronounce that, okay? Everybody is religious. Everybody believes. It's just a matter of your religion versus my religion. If I tell you about God and you already have an argument, then that means you already have a religion. You have your own religion. Because if you didn't have your own religion, you wouldn't be able to argue with me. It'd be like a new thing to you, like, wow, whoa. Wow, I never thought of that. Like, wow, I didn't know that. Really? You wouldn't be ready to argue. You would not be ready to argue unless you have your own religion. The argument is a religion. The question for a question is the religion. Having your own set of answers to shut that person down is a religion. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I have met people that aren't religious. where they just have no clue of, you know what I'm saying, you know, what I'm talking about. If I say, hey, I would like to talk to you about Jesus Christ, they say, I never thought of that. So maybe we could call them non-religious. But most people, when you tell them about God or Jesus or anything in the Bible, they already have an answer. That is religion. What is religion? Religion is your spiritual belief that controls your life's habits, your lifestyle. Religion is your spiritual belief in the supernatural, your spiritual belief in, you know, basically anything that you can't prove. If you believe something strongly and you can't prove it by what's in front of you, just like I believe in God, but where is God? God's not here looking over me, waving at you in the camera, right? So therefore, that most people will call me religious because I believe in something that is not here to see. Well, evolution is a religion. Kent Hovind is right when he keeps telling Aaron Raw over and over again, well, that's according to your religion, that evolution nonsense. Because there is no evolution that is evolving in this room that proves evolution. Just like there is no God in this room to speak up for himself. You cannot make one thing evolve into anything right now in this room ever. And billions in years ago, when the first humans lived on this planet, they couldn't prove that anything was evolving. Somebody, because they had an agenda to explain something else away, they come up with this idea that it had to be this way. It couldn't have been God. And trust me, if you read Darwin's writings and stuff, it seems like he was trying to prove it one way so that you wouldn't believe it was another way. But religion is your spiritual answer for what goes on around you. Your spiritual answers. That means that answers that are not in front of you, you just believe. Like again, the guy believed about that girl that he snapped out on at my job the other day, like I said. There's no evidence that this girl smokes marijuana. There's no evidence that this girl did anything wrong. But he felt he needed to address her about something he has no evidence of. That was personally on him to believe those things about her. Why? Because maybe some things went on between him and other black people, or maybe he's coming from a part of town where it's always one way or something like that. But there's no evidence for what he believed. It was just his belief. And his belief, and it wasn't Christian. He ain't no Christian, and he'll testify to that. As a matter of fact, he's more of an atheist. He'll tell me that religion stuff is old. Nobody believes that anymore. That's almost about like atheism, okay? But he doesn't believe in any God. He doesn't believe in religion. He believes God died. Religion died with him. Where's God? God's tired. Whatever. And he has this attitude. He has a very negative attitude towards women. Matter of fact, he has a woman he lives with, and, you know, he doesn't even acknowledge her as his woman, but yet he expects her to do for him and to have dinner ready when he gets home and all this kind of stuff. Wait a minute. If she's not your girlfriend, if she's not your wife, she doesn't owe you that. Okay? So, it's all about what he believes, not what's in front of him, because what's in front of him is a woman that loves him and calls herself his woman. But he doesn't call her his woman, see? See how them two beliefs conflict with each other? And one will break the heart of the other. Okay? But everybody believes So what is religion? Religion is your spiritual answers for everything that goes on in this life. Your spiritual politics for everything that goes on in this life. Everybody believes something that they can't see in front of them. If you look at me and you think something about me, and I'm not giving you any reason to believe that about me, you don't know that about me, you just assume, you just believe that. That is your religious politics towards me. Okay? Everybody is religious. Okay? The answer and the question are both religion. If I speak to you and you have an answer, as if you rehearsed this at home before you met me on the street, that is your religion. Just like when a woman walks up to me and she sees me out giving out tracts on the street or whatever, and she says, well, the devil's in the church and the good people are out here on the street. That is her religion. That is her counter-religion that's keeping her from accepting God for who he is. The answer is a religion. The question is a religion. Both are religion. The argument is a religion. Now, everybody has an argument for why they don't accept God. Paul went into Athens and with other disciples. I'm paraphrasing. And there was an altar there to the unknown God. But they were already religious, the Bible's being honest, and they were honest. They didn't really call it religion in the King James. In my version, they call it religion. But in the King James, they call it superstitious, which, if you don't believe in God, your religion falls on superstition. So if you don't believe in the one true God, then whatever God you believe in is superstition. For example, gambling is superstition. You have no proof that you're going to win, but yet you take a step of faith every day and scratch them tickets, knowing that if you scratch enough tickets, one of these days you will win, and all them tickets that you wasted money on, it's not going to matter. Even though you lost money on all these tickets, it's not going to matter because you know that one day you're going to win. So you don't care. Okay? That's a religion. That is your religion. When you feel that you can drive your car and you know someone's going to get into an accident, there's going to be a serious accident because you feel that you shouldn't stop for anybody. You feel that you don't have to follow the rules of the highway. You don't have to follow the traffic signals. You're allowed to cut in front of people. You're just being yourself. You're just being you. You being you is going to cause somebody to get killed or hurt. It's going to cause you to end up in jail. That is your religion. That is your religion. Everybody is religious. If I come to you with the truth, and you already have an answer, that means that you are more religious than I am. If I come to you with the truth, or I come to you with what I believe is the truth, because I feel the truth, what's the difference between my religion and your religion? I feel the truth needs to be addressed. Truth needs to be broadcast. Truth needs to be yelled out in the public square. Whereas you feel that, oh, you should just get people together to separate from other Christians or separate from religion, period. Okay? You should have all these people. And what does atheists do? They try to multiply atheists. They try to build atheists, okay, in every city. They go to these seminars and they get all these people to come to these seminars and they try to get them to pledge to be atheists by telling them, please think about everything we just said tonight. Religion is dangerous. It kills. It's bad for your children. It's a disease and all this stuff. That is a religion. That is a religious spirit. Everybody is religious. Now, if you have the truth if you have the truth, your truth should create peace. Not just peace with your people, but peace with everyone that has been against you. When Paul and the disciples, the other apostles, bring forth peace in the book of Acts, they brought people to the Lord that would have normally killed them. They brought these people to the Lord. They brought their enemies to the Lord. And that way there was peace. That is why we Christians are strong about preaching the gospel, evangelizing. Because the more and more people we get on our side, the more peace there will be on earth. The more Christians, we need more Christians and less so-called normal people. Normal people are not helping. We need more Christians. That's what we need. We need more Christians and less secular people. We need more Christians and less popes. We need more Christians, okay, and less cops. Okay? We need more Christians and you name it. Now, cops, let me rephrase that. We need more Christian cops and less secular cops, okay? Because secular cops, like my buddy that I told the story about, he'll get somebody killed or he'll get himself killed with that attitude of his. There's nothing good about it. He is judgmental of people in a way that will cause people to kill him, that will cause him to hurt other people. He had no evidence that this woman did anything wrong. I guess he didn't like the way she looked, or maybe he did like the way she looked and she ain't into him or something. I don't know. But when he screwed up, he couldn't admit to it. Just like Aaron Rawl cannot admit that there is no evidence for evolution. So he's going to what? Get out a chart. He's going to create charts, that's what evolution teaches you. Create charts. But those charts don't prove anything. They just explain to you a belief system. They explain to you a belief system, but it all ends in belief. It's still belief. You're not getting past belief. You have to believe in evolution or it doesn't mean anything. I believe in God, and I choose to believe in God. I retain the right to continue to believe that Jesus Christ died for my sins, okay, that I might have life and life more abundantly, that I might be in glory with him in everlasting joy and peace forever and ever and ever with him. The hope of glory. I don't know how to explain it. I didn't got my scriptures together, but I really believe that Christ is all and in all. And I believe that he's paved the way for me to have a right to enter into the rest, as the Bible put it. The right to live in the New Jerusalem, the right to live again. That this life here is just a stepping stone to the one that I will have forever and ever and ever and ever. And that's what it is. But I can't prove this. I believe this with all my heart. I believe this unto my own hurt. I believe this. I'm willing to die for this. I'm willing to let my tongue be cut out for preaching this. I'm willing to let my head be chopped off for believing this. I believe this with all my heart. Just like Aaron Rawl, or maybe even more than Aaron Rawl, believes in evolution with all his heart. That's why he had to keep cutting Kent Hovind off over and over again. He would only give, every time Kent Hovind's turn was to talk, he's like, You know how Aaron Raw, if you ever met Aaron Raw, you know how he is. He's like, he don't smile. He's just, you know. And then, you know, he can't like have a civil conversation with you, just like Matt Dillahunty. He can't have a civil conversation with you. He's got to like talk down to you, talk, you know, like this guy at work, you know, he's got to talk down to you, talk to you like you ain't nobody, you know, because he's so sure of himself. And that is where religion gets dangerous. When you're so sure of yourself that you persecute and harm other people. You try to take down their rights. You try to you sell them to the higher bidder. You sell them as slaves. You try to take what belongs to them and take it for yourself. Like that guy that goes around taking churches, buying churches to keep Christians from buying these churches. He goes into these neighborhoods and he's filling up churches with atheists to keep Christians from inhabiting those churches. He see an empty church, he'll try to buy it and put his people in there so the Christians aren't in there. That's sicko. That is a very sick religion, a very sick idea. When you go out of your way that much to persecute Christians, you cannot tell me that you're not religious. And I'm sure all atheists don't think like this guy, but nevertheless, the fact that you feel that you need to go to war with Christians, that you need to get on YouTube even, and find ways to argue with Christians, even coming to my channel right now to put in your comments, is your religion and a very dangerous one. Okay? So God bless you. I'm DeRoy Cruz. Everybody is religious. If you're not religious, then let it go. If you're not religious, then back off. You can call me religious if you want to, because I stand alone on the Word of God. And I'm going to be a Christian until the day that the Lord take me out of here and give me a name and glory. I don't need to call myself Christian anymore. But on this life, I'm a Christian. And I'm going to be a Christian no matter what. But that doesn't mean that I got to go around abusing anybody or arguing with anybody. Because my faith, or my religion, if that's what you want to call it, is all about the true family of God. It is just as physical as it is spiritual. But when you preach evolution, what part of that is fact? No, you have to believe, or it don't mean a hill of beans. All you have is a belief, just like I got a belief. Everybody's religious. Your religion versus my religion, that's all it is. Everybody is religious. Stop trying to act like you're something that you're not. You're just as religious as everybody else. If you drink, you're religious. If you're a fornicator, you're religious. If you believe in smoking weed, cigarettes, if you believe in justifying anything, and you have an argument why you must smoke cigarettes, you have an argument why you need to smoke marijuana, like a lot of these black comedians. You have an argument why you need to drink and why you need to get drunk, why you need to get wasted on your birthday, why you need to fornicate, why you got a woman at home that you don't love, but yet you got to have her there as a sex object. That's a religion. And when I tell you your fault, you have an answer. Why? Because that is your religion. As pagan as it is, that's your religion. My religion versus your religion, or your religion versus my religion. I'll put it like that. God bless you. I'm DeRoy Cruz, your Life Applications Officer. Thank you for watching part 2 of this. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Talk to you soon. God bless.